Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this discussion by IIT alumni on the debate that's been going on for quite some time about the continuation or otherwise of the JEE, which some of us relate to very personally and emotionally. I still recollect what I now call a fateful weekend in May, sometime in 1970 in my case. And I walked into a room and gave a test after a few months of going through something which was supposed to be in preparation for a JEE of the IIT. It was this became a serious subject to be discussed and debated within the IIT system. The IIT Council at that time set up a committee, now known as the Acharya Committee. The Acharya Committee went into a very extensive and intensive study of the whole process and came up with a report. But nothing really happened. It wasn't converted into any kind of action. And post that, more recently, Professor Ramaswamy was given charge of looking at what needs to be done on the subject. But the entire process had one thing in common. The fundamental question was the importance to be given to the board examinations and the school results of a student who's potentially coming into IIT, what place that should be in the entire process. That was the key element of the whole study and the process. The Ramaswamy Committee went into a study of the ecosystem, did polls, conducted polls across various stakeholders, and based on all that they'd gotten, made some recommendations. Now, based on these two recommendations, I just wanted to give this background because the questions about has the decision been taken, what's happened, where it is. So it is just to bring us all on the same page on what we understand the status now is. So based on these two recommendations, the ministry did prepare a set of what I can now call suggestions, recommendations to be implemented. And post discussion that happened last week, what I can update you is the current status is that there is no specific decision that's been taken by anybody so far, whether the ministry or the IIT Council, view of what the IIT system wants and presented back to the ministry by the 10th of May. So time is quite short, just about less than a month now. And I think it's important, therefore, as Pan-IIT alumni, we thought, we've already been in various discussion forums and various parts of the internet. We see all kinds of comments about what Pan-IIT has done or not done on the subject. The truth is, we've really not yet taken a stand as Pan-IIT alumni, and that's the whole purpose of today's meeting and discussion. The purpose of the meeting and discussion really is to come up with what we think is the considered view of the Pan-IIT alumni as an organization that we can present to the committee that's forming this among the IIT faculty as well as the MHRD. So having said that, I would like to now to call upon the panel. Essentially, we have pulled together in a very, very short notice and short period of time people who have been involved in the process for a long time. So I must first thank all the panelists for making it possible to be here. A very, very short notice. PG Pradeep Gupta needs no introduction. PG will moderate the panel. He's an IIT Delhi alumnus, past president of the Alumni Association here, the past chairman of Pan-IIT alumni. Mr. Arun Mittal, can you please come on here? Is from again a faculty member of the IIT Delhi and president of the IIT Faculty Federation, representing the faculty's view on the subject. Professor Indra Sen, again, it would be I would look at introducing him in this forum. So, Professor Indra Sen, Arjun Malhotra, more of IIT Kharagpur alumnus, one of the most active, ever active person in the IIT alumni circles for all times, both here and in the US. I don't want to say anything more. I think HCL, headstrong, we all know that, and myself. So I'm currently the chairman of the Pan IIT alumni, and I must also introduce Yogesh Anle, who's been the primary driver behind this event, also an IIT Delhi alumnus who's really been working on this particular event, supported by Mr. Zindal and Anil Vij, who's again Pan IIT alumni. So with that, I'll hand you over to Pradeep and to take the panel forward.
Thank you. And we need to factor in the school performance as well. The key point, students must be relieved of pressure of multiple exams, because currently students have to go through a number of different exams. And how can the influence of coaching be reduced? And of course there was inclusion, which was one part of the entire thing. So the present committee looked at this, as I said, conducted a survey, and then after that decided to put together this draft report. In this, as I said, they consulted school boards, state boards. There was a public participation through opinion poll. 2,063 people participated. It included students and so on. Now, this is where 960 people commented on multiplicity of entrance examination, which have different sociological implications. And 85% voted for reforms as far as the admission system is concerned. Reduction in number of examinations to 1, testing knowledge intensity alignment to 12th class syllabus, reduction of dependency on coaching and pressure, emphasis on aptitude, transparency in process, removal of negative marking, online process, and people centers. Responses factor in performance of school boards. 66% were in favor that there should be some weightage given to school boards, and 34% were not in favor. 45 of those disfavor non-uniformity. Lot of people said that a SAT type aptitude test should also be there, so that we have a much more well-rounded personality and not just PCM based. Various type of tests, and therefore an aptitude test and an advanced test. So this is the summary concept of a single entrance test, provision for measuring aptitude and advanced knowledge, to factor in school board scores, and how can we address the issue of non-uniformity. Into details, so I'm just very quickly going over the salient points here. They looked at can it be possible to normalize scores, and therefore they enrolled ISI into that. And then ISI did some pilot testing, they did some modeling, they observed various relationships of models, they drew some graphs, okay, and then they worked out a methodology by which it could be normalized. And essentially they said that, you know, it is possible to look at the top 25%, the top quartile, and, you know, sort of treat the top quartile of each and every board as equivalent to one another. Okay. So I'm again not going into the details. If you want, then, you know, this